Hey guys, Kev here, and I want to do a overview / review on the barrel flashlight rail. So this flashlight I've had for a couple weeks now, and I really like this flashlight. I have one downside to it that holds it back a little bit for me, but I do really like the flashlight. I'd probably like to try some other stuff from Barrel. I have not been able to get a hold of them. I've tried emailing them. I've tried Instagram. I've tried DMing the maker directly on Facebook, and I'm not getting any responses. So that's unfortunate because I do like to have some kind of connection to the makers of things when it's like custom stuff like this. But I do really enjoy the flashlight, so that's kind of first and foremost. This is the rail model. I'm going to show you the COA here. I did do an unboxing of this and talked about it pretty thoroughly, so I'm not going to go too long here on this, but it came with a small, medium, and large sticker set, and then a certificate of authenticity. I did buy this secondary. I got this for $250 on the secondary, and I feel like that was a pretty damn good price, so shout out to the guy I bought this off of. I think for what I paid, this is phenomenal. So this is the rail model. It's actually from June of 23, which is cool. So it's not an older model. It's in aluminum, and we're rocking the Samsung 351D emitters in 5000K temperature. And I think that might be important here as we get into this. The color temperature or the tint on this is an interesting one for me, and I'll get into it. It takes a 16340 battery, IMR battery, and then I think they're just trying to tell me which one it came with, which was a 700 milliamp hour unprotected button top. Although I don't think that's actually what was in here. What was in here was a different battery, but it was a 650 milliamp hour, but I'm guessing the one they shipped with was the EFES battery. It says here 6 Picatinny and then Dragon Driver. At least that's what I get out of that. And then it says, I can't really read this well. Battle Worn Blue. That's what it is. Battle Worn Blue Cerakote. In the unboxing, I was like, Bethany Blue? Like, I don't know, but it's Battle Worn Blue Cerakote 6 Picatinny. So, I think they are referring to the Picatinny as this area right here, which is kind of like, you know, what they call Picatinny rail on a firearm. And I'm guessing if I counted, there'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides of that Picatinny, so to speak. So that is where that comes from. So there's your COA. I do like that. I've found that some of these are not coming with very detailed COAs, which kind of sucks, but this is solid. I think, yeah, this bag I grabbed from something else, so don't mind that. I just like to have my COAs and stuff like that kind of sealed away. But it did not have a case or anything like that. It just came with this COA and then this wrapped in something. I will open it here for you, and one thing to note right off the bat is the threads on this are incredibly smooth. So here is the 700 milliamp hour EFES. Again, I think it shipped with this battery in it. You guys can go back and look at the unboxing if you care for whatever reason. But I think it's shipped with this vape cell, which I think is just as good. If you can't find these EFES, which they are hard to get, I did find them on eBay, and that seller is legit. You can buy them in 2 packs for like 10 bucks. But these are available in other places. If you want to get the T6 from Vapcell, pretty sure you're really close. I mean, you're talking 50 mAh here, and maybe 1 extra amp in terms of continuous discharge. So, and these are probably a lot cheaper. I would avoid these. These are 850 milliamp hour, which is why I got them, because I was like, cool, extra 150 milliamps. But the max continuous discharge is 3 amps. While it will pop in here and it will work, you're not going to have a problem there. You're going to get lower output. Hard to tell, really, but I would just probably stick with the other ones. But hey, if you want those extra milliamps, go for it. But the battery might be working a little harder, so your trade-off is there. I still have not taken off this ring, so maybe we could look at that real quick now that I have my little pick set. So let's set this aside. I got a ton of batteries now. I'm a freaking battery fiend. So let's take a look inside. This is going to have that CWF Dragon driver. You can see right there, Charles Wiggins flashlights, Dragon driver. Pretty safe, pretty secure. I like to take my snap ring pliers. Now, I'm a noob, so you guys, let me know in the comments all the good stuff that I need to know. But I've got these snap ring pliers. I'll link the set down below if I remember. But I definitely linked it in my tips video. And what I do is, you see these little notches, right? One there and one there. And I'll try to zoom in for you. And I'll put one on each notch. I'm trying to be careful. I don't want to, scrape across the control board there like I just did. See, the issue with these snap rings is when you squeeze, right? When you have to like open them to get them. It's hard to explain, but using the other ones is actually harder for me. The ones that you squeeze to open, because they don't open wide enough. You can also just use tweezers for this, which is something I might look into. But basically, you just drop these so that they fall into those notches. And then get them to the corners. And then I squeeze a little bit. And then I just kind of give it a little tug, snug to the side to make sure everything's tight. I'm not taking it out right now, so that's as far as I'm going to go. Because I did actually have a flashlight come a little loose. And I had to tighten the driver down. And I was pretty surprised. So just something to check. Maybe if you have flickering or any issues like that, then check. Don't necessarily have to do it right off the bat like I just did. So I bought this little pick set. That's the one I want right now. And these are nylon, so they're really good in my opinion for this because they're less likely to damage your O-rings. They're not totally soft either, but you don't want metal, you know what I mean? So this ring right here spins, all right? And as far as I understand, you can replace the ring and the tube in there. So I'm just trying to get in there. I don't know where they sell these. I mean, I've seen them on their website, but they don't have any available. And again, I can't get a hold of them, so I don't know if I could get more, if I, get another ring if I wanted to. Can I just pull it off and not have to deal with this? That would be great. Yep. It's coming up. There we go. All right. So the ring just kind of slid up there. And it looks like it has a metal inside ring. And then the outside is whatever the material happens to be. Seems to be aluminum on this one. And I was talking to my buddy Steve. We're both kind of nerding out on lights right now. These seem to be like literally rings. So like, from what we understand, it seems to be like a size 12 ring. So, I mean, I could literally almost wear that. Just a little big for me. But, I mean, it does almost fit. So, here's my size 11 or so, 10, 11. Just doesn't fit. It'd be cool to put, I have some different rings. It'd be cool to try to put those on there. Now I'm not sure. I think it was on this way, right? So that slides on there. And then I guess that inner tube does not come out the way I thought it did. I thought it would just slide out now. Does this rotate out? No. So it looks like that sleeve is right in here. So maybe there's another, is this an O-ring or what is this? Let me use this guy. I don't know what that is. This is like just plastic. I assumed it was like the bottom of this tube. So that's just doing nothing. Almost seemed like you could twist these threads out and then get that out, but not seeing that. So while I'm here, let me clean the threads. Like I said, they're absolute butter, but I haven't messed with them at all. So let me just clean this, show you how I do it. I just clean the threads off. Do the same thing here with the internal threads. You gotta be careful, obviously, because you have your driver there. You don't want to mess anything up. Can't quite get all the way in there, but I can get pretty good. I'm getting some shit out of there for sure. So clean as much as I can that way. I take my little Q-tips here. Oops. Spray my whole arm. Just kind of clean in there. See if I can get any deeper than that. Nah, it's too tight, so she said. So just clean as much as you can, basically. Yeah, I'm not seeing personally. Okay, I can get the, oh, let's just see what happens now. If I get the O-ring off, okay. So it doesn't look like there's more threads, and there's no way here, you know. I can't quite reach in there to push it. I don't think it comes out this way because I did take the switch. You might have seen it in the video, the tips and tricks video, but I took this boot cover off and I put a new one in a rubber one. It feels so much better. But I didn't see anything under there when I did that. Only thing I can think of is there's like a way when you take the clip off that it somehow reveals something, but I'm not seeing that. Doesn't look like it. So it really comes down to these little tabs right here. That's what I'm thinking. Is, oh, I'm a dope. That whole thing is the sleeve. I think I just need to reach in and pull it out. I think that whole thing is the sleeve. So I don't know if the McClicky is holding it in, but it doesn't look like it. I think maybe if I get a couple of, it's almost like you're supposed to hook it and pull it out. Just like I was doing, but with two of them. Right? Don't know if that would work. See, and then this won't work because, you know, but I have ones with hooks. So I don't think that helps. But it really does seem like I'm just able, yeah, see, it's spinning. How do I get you out? Is there certain position. It's gotta be. I mean, I really see no other. I don't see anything retaining it. So I'm pretty sure I should be able to just. It's just free spinning in there. But I don't know what you would use to pull it out. I don't want to break this hook. Trying to see if there's like a certain angle. There's nothing on the outside that indicates anything. What could I use that wouldn't snap? You know what I mean? It can't be something that would snap. Pliers wouldn't work. Well, all right. I don't actually have anything to swap, so like it's kind of dumb anyway, but it looks like it's just a sleeve in there. So you just find a way to pull it out. I'm guessing you grab those two sides with something I just don't have a good example of, you know. Let me see if I use this, if it'll. Haha, got it. So yeah, it's literally just a tube. And the one thing I don't like about it is, I think, no, it's metal. Actually, it is metal. I thought it was plastic. So this is metal, and so is this. So it's just aluminum. Both of these are just aluminum, which is, I'm pretty sure anyway. The whole thing is aluminum, yeah. So that's how you replace it. Look at that. I'm guessing you can't just rock. Yeah, I wonder. Probably a bad idea. Wonder if you could fit a 18350 in there now. Look at that. Should fry my light somehow. Should be the same voltage, so it should be fine. Look at that. Huh. Well, if you wanted to get an 18350 into your barrel, there you go. So my guess is they make them just like 18350 lights, right? Just like any other 18350 light. That's why, you know, the optics and everything are the same. And then this sleeve is what cuts it down to a 16340 size, right? But, you know, it can handle, I mean, it's not, you can see right here, 3.7 volt. 3.7 volt. So there's really no difference. This actually might have a little bit higher max continuous discharge. So you might get a little bit better power out of this. And obviously I have Dragon drivers with 18350. I use this battery in here. So there's no reason it wouldn't work just fine. Now, you know, it'd be kind of weird to carry it like that. Honestly, this ring here, this should probably go on first. There's no reason that you couldn't just rock it like this if you wanted to. Be extremely goofy looking and maybe dangerous. Is that dangerous? You're exposing that? Oh. Anyway, just wanted to show you that because it's possible. I also wonder if some of these heads are like interchangeable. It's not going to be on this because this Pele head is, look at the threads on this. They're just wild, but yeah, doesn't fit on there. That might be a bad example, but just curious if any of these lights are interchangeable. Those are different threads too, actually. Yeah. All right, I'm going to stop before I screw something up here. This was my boss, which is boss, by the way. All right. Back to this guy. So we put the little ring back on. We're going to pop this guy back in, just slide it in. As far as I can tell, just slides in. Give it a little push. Everything pops back in. I need to put the, put all this away. I need to put the lubrication in there. So I just take a couple of these Q-tips, well, one of these Q-tips. You can get those Q-tips at kpl-knifepivotlube.com. Use my code LeftyEDC. You can also just get them on Amazon if you search like microfiber Q-tips or something like that. I just take this Nio gel and I dab it around on the threads. I don't know if I use too much or not. I just kind of, you know, I haven't felt like there's been a lot of excess when I do it. So I think I'm doing it just fine. I always work it in too. And then what I do is take one last little bit and I put it on around the O-ring, because that O-ring is very important to the flashlight. And I could have done this and applied it to the O-ring when I had the O-ring off. I will say this is one of the thinner O-rings that I've come across, but so I do that, and then I'll just clean up anything that kind of overspilled there. Take the battery out and thread it on. Oh yeah, it's, dude, it's so buttery. Thread it off. Thread it on. Just do that a couple times. Make sure I'm working it all in. This head is interesting. It doesn't have, man, it's so smooth. I don't have a ton of aluminum lights, honestly, but man, that feels great. And yeah, just, man, it's really good. And then it doesn't like, a lot of my lights, they're like, okay, we're tightening, and I have to crank it a little bit. This one just like hits a wall, and I give it one little snug, and we're there. But it feels great. So spray my hands a little bit. All right, so let's talk about the actual light portion of this a little bit. And where to get these. The place to get these is going to be probably on Facebook. They have a Facebook group. And then there's also a custom torch community group on Facebook. That's good. That's where I've bought a lot of lights. But they're going to be hard to get direct. You can check Arizona Custom Knives. Their website has some custom flashlights, which is interesting, but their pricing, not the best. But if you just want one, you know, there you go. So, yeah, my guess is this was probably $350, $400 new in aluminum. Titanium ones are like $556. So, Again, we have an Okluma DC1 switch on here, I believe. I bought some switches, or boot covers, sorry, from Okluma, and I put them on some lights, and it just feels so much better. Less mushy, just feels good. This is a McClicky switch, and it does have the Dragon driver, so you can watch my programming video on that, but basically you get one secondary color. In this case, it's blue, which I think looks really, really good. You know, it matches, obviously, the theme of the light. I normally go for a raw look, you know, for my flashlights. But in this case, it was just too good of a deal to pass up. And I'm a blue guy, so it works. Like, I like blue. I mean, I'm not a blue guy. That made no sense. But yeah, so I really like the aesthetic. I'm not the biggest fan of this scope looking thing on here. I'd like to get just a black ring or something to put there, but it looks fine. The clip works great. This is one of those clips that just works really, really well. So great job from them. Looks like the guy I got it from nicked it up a bit here. It is a distressed look, so it doesn't actually bother me, but it does look like that's wear and tear, not, you know, stock. But it's got this black and blue look. Just looks sick. And then you turn the secondary on, it just looks good. And it's a very good light. That's one thing I really like about it. It's a floody light. So the way they have these optics set up is it's very floody. To me, it seems like a really solid setup. I don't know if the glass is sapphire or mineral glass or what. So far, it's been pretty good for me. You have those Samsung emitters in there, and that's what I wanted to talk about was the light from it has, to me, almost a little bit of a greenish tint. Not really, but it's close. When I look at it on this mat, I get that feel. When I look at it almost anywhere else, I don't. And it does seem a little bit warmer than my other 5000K lights. So let me grab something. I'm gonna grab a little cart with all my lights, and please pardon me, I have gone down the rabbit hole, so I have a lot. And I only show you these because I want to make my point here. So I know for a fact that these two are 5000K, okay? Which is the same as this. This is a Nichia 5000K. I think it's 219B, could be 519A. And it is a very cool, like, white light. And I actually really like that. I didn't at first, but I really liked it. So if you look at that, and the camera's maybe not going to show it as well. But two things you'll notice, right? One, this one has a little more of a direct hot spotty beam. Now this is still a triple emitter, right? So still the same setup, but the way the optic is set up, or maybe, you know, I'm not an expert. Maybe the Samsungs have a different kind of look to them, or maybe one of them is like de-domed or whatever you call it. But you can clearly see that I'll put that on, you know, whatever this is, low or medium, sorry. And do the same here. And you can see the difference. This is way floodier over here, where this keeps that beam, right? As I back out, you see how this one stays direct more. Keep that sort of hot spot there, where this one just, boom, all of a sudden it's just straight spill. And you see that outside when you use the lights. And I love this one outside. This is one of my favorite lights. And I really like this one too. It's just got really good flood. It's very, very good. But yeah, the tint is just a little different. It doesn't look like 5000K to me. You know, and that's just probably the difference between Nichia and Samsung. And my guess, you know, you guys tell me in the comments, anybody who's a nerd, this is probably higher CRI, where this is maybe a little lower. So it's not as great on the color rendering index, which I think just means how good it looks, sort of. I think this is a much cleaner light. That thing is smoking hot. Like, what the heck did I have that on? Let me just... That's low. It was just medium. There's another setting after that. That's high. This thing was cooking there for a second. I just had it on this setting, I think. Now, it's a very small light, so you really do have to cigar grip this guy. Just saying. It's interesting how hot it's getting, but... in retrospect, whatever. This one is pretty cool. You know, it's not getting hot. And that's one of the big benefits of aluminum. I think this flashlight would benefit a lot from an aluminum body, which they do have. But yeah, this is still not even that hot. Bump it up a notch. So that was your highest setting. And yeah, it's starting to get warm, but still not bad. No, oh, here's high. Yeah, aluminum just does a really good job dissipating the heat. It doesn't centralize. That's the one thing, though, with titanium. It gets hot, but it's hot up in the head area. So she said. Back here on the body to back here, it's not really hot. So it's just where you hold it. Yes, it still feels good. I mean, I can still hold it. It's starting to get a little hot up there, though. But I bet you that design with the vents and the tube really helps with heat dissipation too. So that's kind of cool. So anyway, that's just kind of like the color differences. This one here is also 5000K. And I don't think they're the same. For some reason, I feel like this one's 519A and this one's 219. But I don't know if they make the 519A and 5000. So I could be wrong. Could be 219C or B or whatever. So I think they might be the same. But again, just not the same here. Even though they're both listed as 5000K. And again, just way floodier. Even though, in general, these are all floodier lights because they're triples or whatever. But, yeah, I just thought that was interesting. Because if you look at, those are 5000K. This one, this is a new one I have, the Deadwood Huckleberry. And this one is listed, or I don't know what this is. The COA actually does not list the emitters, which is dumb. But this, again, looks completely different. This looks like a much warmer light to me. So maybe this one is 4,000, 4,500. But this one, I just don't have anything else that looks like this. You know, here's my Pele. Again, much warmer light or cooler light. So even though this is 5,000, my guess is this is probably 5,000 as well, but just cooler. But this one definitely is more throwy than any other triple I have. It's really fun one. We'll talk about that one soon as well. But just to compare, these is my Boss, my overriding Boss. This one is at 4,500 Kelvin. And again, just looks... Now these are pretty similar as we back up with that floodiness. But this one's a little more directed. The Boss is probably the best light in terms of just how clean it is. It's just an exceptional flashlight. But again, just nothing is just like this. It's just an interesting thing to me. This is my F2. This is 4000K. So you can tell we're clearly warmer here. This is 5000. 4500 on the Okluma. Got to go all the way to high just to get it to match medium or low over here. But this is also one of those, like the Overready. It's just an amazing beam. Amazing light that it puts out. Just such a clean light. And again, both the Overready and this have the 519A. Here's one. This is the Magismo from the Haiku from Magismo. This one's 4500, 119V Nichia. So it's not that. So it just seems like I don't have, this one's very hot spotty. I like that about it, but it just seems like I don't have anything else with that Samsung emitter in it. This is my Lalima Ion Slim. Again, relatively hot spotty for an EDC light, but in general, probably not. But this one's 4500 as well. So just, I don't know. It's a unique light, and it doesn't look as clear, I think, as all the other ones. But that's when you're like right here. When you're outside with it, using it on its own, it feels really, really good. I've very much enjoyed carrying and using this. Now, it gets relatively bright, so, you know, this is your highest setting. It's right up there with all my other triples. You know, I don't know what their lumen counts are, to be honest. But, I mean, it's not any less or more powerful than, you know, like my Reaver Citadel here. Here's the barrel. Here's the Reaver. Just, you know, different, but nothing is brighter, or, you know, it's just how it is. So it does a great job. I've had no issue with the 16340s. I change batteries so often that it really doesn't. If I use a flashlight much at all in a day, I'll usually just swap the battery that night. That's why I have a thing full of batteries, you know. So great as a light. You'll see the testing video at the end. I was going to keep this short. Of course, I didn't. Sorry, I went into a ramble about all these other lights. The big downside to the barrel, this is it. This is the one thing for me, is because of all of this going on here, it's not very good in a cigar grip. And I really like a cigar grip. It's one of my favorite grips. Again, going through these, right? You have the Pele, amazing cigar grip. This Deadwood has that Shelf, amazing cigar grip. Peanut is like the epitome of cigar grip. The Citadel, a little less traditional there, but very good in a cigar grip. The Overready Boss, amazing in the cigar grip. You even have the cutouts in that like sort of crenulated tail, so you can slide right in, right? Pretty much all my triples, I really like their cigar grips. And then even on the bigger lights, you know, like this Ion Slim, really good cigar grip. This is a classic. Haiku works really well. F2, one of the reasons I like the F2 over the F3 cigar grip, right? And the Okluma is another example of not having a real, you know, tapered area. That's kind of one of the, you know, that's one of the drawbacks to it, but it also is the reason why it's so thin. But it's circular, right? And it's still comfortable. So you can grab that last knurling and you can use it in the cigar grip, no problem, right? The barrel here has these, you know, ridges that stick up. And so when I go to grip it in a cigar hold, what I end up doing is bearing down on those ridges on a point, not on a flat. So then you would argue, well, why don't you just turn it? Which, sure, right? I can just turn it, but now that clip is kind of getting me right here. So I can try to maneuver it to where, and it just gets awkward. Like I find this spot right here works, but I got to kind of make that happen. Or I got to back all the way up to here, get past those ridges to here, and then it kind of works, but it never feels right to me in the cigar grip. There's just not a great spot. Now my buddy Steve, he says he does like a 2-finger hold or something like that, like this. And I guess that works, but I just don't like changing my grips all that much. I want to be able to pick up any light and do the same thing. So what I end up doing is just kind of suffering through it and holding it however I hold it. I just grab it, hold it, and it works. You know, unless it's long periods, then it's uncomfortable. But for the most part, I'm holding it, I'm doing something around the house outside, and then I can use the cigar grip like this while I'm walking around. I put flashlights in my mouth a lot. And then I'll set them on something. One thing this is good at is being set down on stuff. Most of them are good at that because the clip kind of just keeps it in one spot. But this one, it won't like stop on a dime, but it is better. I've found that I can get it set without hitting the clip. So I can set it on one of those sort of flats, and it'll kind of stay still, right? Where if I take any other light, it'll just roll until it hits a clip, right? In practice, this works better for me than it's showing right now. It might just be the mat. I don't know. And then I also use lights a lot in a tail stand, as a sort of room illuminator. And this does a good job because, again, it's a very floody style light. So it's really good for EDC. So there you go. Those are my thoughts. I don't love the Samsung emitters. I think if I had my druthers, I would, have somebody swap it out for a 519A, the new 4500K. I really like that sweet spot in flashlights. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think of the barrel flashlight, the rail. If you guys have any tips or any tricks or anything I didn't cover or don't know about the light, please let me know. I still want to, try to get a hold of the maker. I believe his name's Kevin. And, just chat. And I'd love to buy one directly, something more of my choosing or whatever. And, yeah, I love you guys. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day. Check out the outdoor footage, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace. Kev here, and I'm outside messing around. I gotta get the water off my pool cover and shit, and figured I would just show you how this barrel rail is doing for me. I really like it. It has those Samsung 351D, I think it is, 5000K emitters, and yeah, I'm really digging it. It's got a blue secondary, but let's take it out here into the darkness. At least, for me, it's darkness. And see what that looks like for you guys. There you go. So it's always maybe twice as bright as it is on camera for me, but yeah. So let me get in the gate here. Right now I have it on I think 15% maybe, I think it is. I have it on the 4th setting for the Dragon driver, so whatever that is, but I think it's just 5%, something like that. Because if you look, I'll let it reset. We'll go, oh, didn't reset. Gotta wait 5 seconds. So you got blue, and I think you got 5, 15, 35, and 100. So yeah, so here's the blue. That's what that looks like. You can see my little pump going here, 15%, or 5%, sorry. We just got a shit ton of rain. I just got this pump because I didn't know you gotta pump the water off of that fucking cover. It's extremely annoying how much shit you have to do with this pool. But you can see letting her rip there. I've been kind of spreading it out a little bit because this side is totally flooded over here. That's going to be that 15% right there. I don't know if you can see how much water is down here, but it's really pulling up because I had it over there, and I think it just kind of pulls up here to begin with. So hopefully these arborvitaes will be sucking that up as they grow. These back here look a little brown. We just planted them like a month or two ago, so I watered the shit out of them when we got them, and then a couple weeks ago I stopped because it got cold, really cold, and I figured at some point you can't just keep watering them in the winter, but they've been getting plenty of water anyway, you know. But we can walk around here behind the house, and we'll switch over to, oh man, it's muddy, 35% here. So this is 35. There's a light on in the back there. My kid's watching Bluey, or was. So this is gonna make it a little difficult to see what the light's producing. But there you can see, hey, that's funny, these lights weren't on. Maybe it had something to do with that back light being on. So that's, let me get out of the light here from the back. Move over here where it's just dark-ish. All right, so that's 35. And then if I crank it up to 100, I mean, it is beautiful. It covers the whole backyard. I can see like daylight. Man, I was not sold on this light. Here's the front of the house. I mean, it's going all the way out to the street. It's a good 50 feet. So for EDC, I mean, this thing is amazing. It stays nice and cool too. And you can see right there, 5% or whatever, does an absolutely great job. Let me move around to the front, to my usual spot you guys see, although I got all the Christmas lights up right now, so it's gonna make it a little difficult, but it's a cul-de-sac over there. Here's the truck. I got the garage. Oh man, the Grinch fell down. We gotta help him out while we're out here. We got a mission. So here's my little Christmas light set up. Turn this off for a second. I got this little garland wrap. Then I got some candy canes, some more candy canes. The previous owner left this and that. And then I got more candy canes. I thought I could program them, but you need like a hub thing, and fuck all that. So it just does this random thing. And then I got a few blow ups. And I got this laser thing so I didn't have to climb on the fucking roof. So it's got that going instead. And then I put those up on the garage. And those are on a timer, and then everything over here is on one timer, which is nice. And I got little Santa right here. But so check out this tree, right? Here's the blue, can't see it really. A little bit in the yard, 5, right? Starting to get that tree, but in real life, it's just barely. You can see the sign pretty good. Kick over to 15. Now the tree's looking a little better to me. Yeah, I can see the whole thing. 35, now we're cooking. Now we're cooking with gas. I really wouldn't need to go any higher than this in everyday situations, really. And then 100 is just full on, what up? Blowing up your spot. And it really does a good job. I mean, if I go across the street there, I mean, it's even lighting up that tree way back in the distance. That's, I don't know, 100 yards away or something. So I really like this. Now, I gotta say, all of my triple emitter lights like this, they all do a really good job like that. So it's not unique to this one, but I do like what this puts out. It has a more of a floody kind of. Let me get the Grinch up. Come on, man, get to work, bro. Jeez. It has more of a floody kind of setup, I think, because I also have a Pele from CWF and Tie 2, and that seems to have a little more of a hotspot feel. Even though it has triple emitters and everything, it's plenty floody, but it does have a little more of a directed beam, where this guy really fills up an area nicely. So for EDC, this barrel with those Samsung emitters is really, really good. All right, thanks for checking it out, guys. Love you. Hope you have a fantastic day and a Merry Christmas. Peace.